How to find a job in dentisting without burning your nachos. My name is Paul Dr. Nacho, and I'm standing in Philadelphia near the Schuylkill Expressway, one of the more challenging roads to drive on Earth. This is a road I've driven on many times. Never gets any easier. I do get more experience. So I want to share with you how you can find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos. So join me on this walk as I share tips on how to find a job without burning your nachos. So you don't have to scribble everything down or try to remember it. I'd rather you just learn from the video. If you would like access to this video, you can get it in a few ways. 1, text job video to 215-543-6454. 2, email job video to salsa@dentalnachos.com. So how can you find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos? You think dental school would spend a little more time on how to find a job and a little less time on the Krebs cycle and making mediocre bite rims. Why? Well, going to dental school, it's quite an expense. Some people are paying $600,000 to do that. So it would seem like it would make sense to teach those in dental school how to get a job to pay off their loans, pay their rent, and pay for food. But dental school's like, nah, we'll just rather have you memorize the melting point of gold, even though no one really uses gold anymore. Even though people call it the gold standard, we barely ever use the gold standard. But I've gotten rant sidetracked, and I'm going to get back on track here. So, how to find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos. There are important points, foundational points to consider about every job. First important point: why does the office need an associate? Why is the most important point. Is your associate position a car like you see here on the road, or a boat that you may see going by here on the Schuylkill? Not a lot of huge boat traffic here on the Schuylkill. A car is a need, a boat is a want. If you take a boat job, you may not be needed later if they don't have enough patience. A car job is a need job. So what kind of whys are good to hear? If you're just like, hey, why are you looking for an associate? A good question to ask. And listen, golden nacho tip, bring small notebook. Jot down things to ask. Say to person interviewing you, hey, would you mind if I took a few notes on this position? You look prepared. You want to be aware. And what you have on the other side of the notebook are these questions. Why? Remember to ask why. Some good whys. The associate that they had at the office is leaving to go to a specialty program. Great why. The associate is leaving because their spouse got a job across the country. Another great why. The associate is leaving because things didn't work out. Still a good why, but find out more. You might say, oh, would you share with me an example of something that didn't work out? And listen, if they say the associate was too slow for our office, say, oh, I could see how that would be frustrating. Is there like an example of how the associate was too slow? Yeah, they wanted an hour for a crown prep, and we do all our crown preps in 20 minutes. That might be a red flag. They said, oh, the associate wanted 3.5 hours for a class 2 composite. That may be reasonable. So these are the questions you want to ask, because getting a job in dentistry is a super important step in your career. And if you do not get a good job, you often stay at a not so good job longer because you're afraid you won't get a different one. So the best thing to do is to determine if the job you are about to get is a good fit for you. So that is the first question, why? Second question, what procedures would I be doing most of the time? Not those random Fridays where you might get to place an implant because a periodontist comes in. No, most of the time. And do you know what procedures you want to hear as a dentist if you're applying for a job? The procedures you're comfortable doing. And those procedures for most new dentists are general dentistry procedures. Fillings, crowns, night guards, implant restorations, hygiene checks, maybe even some cleanings. My advice as a multiple practice owner and someone who helps people find jobs and dentist place associates, Do not resist doing some hygiene. That is my advice. That's what I would do. I did hygiene at my dad's practice when I got out of my GPR, even though I had placed over 150 implants. So, one of the reasons, nothing goes wrong during a cleaning. It's a nice visit to get to know the patient. You don't have to make them numb. You're not trying to get contacts. The band isn't flying across the room. The crown is not misfitting. So that is my advice. You can take that advice and say, I'm going to do it or not do it. Totally cool with me. You want to know why? Want to know why it's good to get advice from people like me on this? My life, not different if you do a lot of cleanings or zero cleanings. Just my experience I'm sharing with you. What procedures? Third question. How are associates compensated here? Don't say, how much money am I going to make? It's a little bit of an aggressive question. In this office, how are associates compensated? And listen for a good answer. Here's a good answer. We have a daily safety net guarantee of $500 a day with the opportunity for you to make 33% of your net collections paid as an employee with a 1-year contract. Good answer. It's a system. Not so good answer. You kill what you eat here at this office. We eat what we kill. Are we hunting class 3s? We're really busy. There's going to be plenty of work. Those are feelings, not facts. I think Dr. Phil said that, or it is a good quote. You want to go with facts, not feelings. One of the things I say is being busy is a feeling, not a fact. How are you going to be paid? Fourth question. If I was to work here, seems like a really great town, an office. What are some things people do when they're not being a dentist? What are some things I could do? Because when you're desperate for a job and to pay off your dental school debt, you may not think of yourself in the future, and you might think, I could take this job, but dentistry is very stressful. It's very intense. And if there's not something for you to do, I'm here in Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia. Some people would not like Philadelphia. I like museums in a non-pandemic time. I like a gazillion restaurants outside my door. I don't do much hiking. Not a hiker. Not sure if people knew that about me, but I'm not someone who enjoys hiking. If you enjoy hiking, maybe you want to be in a hiking area. So, what fun things there are to do. And the fifth question, which really is kind of the start to this whole thing, but where is this job? What state is it in? Are you licensed in that state? Is that a place where you have some connections? It doesn't mean moving for a job is a bad thing. The more geographically flexible you are, the more options you will have. So at Dentist Job Connect, our platform, we have over 50 open positions. And we have positions where you can earn $200,000 a year where we cannot find someone to apply for that job. And we have part-time positions in New York City where we get 20 applicants for a part-time job. What I would share with you is being geographically flexible will give you more options, but please consider your emotional, social, and total well-being. So this is a process that should start day one, D1 of dental school. Not applying, but connecting, building relationships, developing a team. Make sure you have a dental-focused attorney review your contract. Don't be dentist cheap. There are so many challenging, sad, difficult stories of dentists who did not have a dental-focused attorney review their contract, and they signed a contract that totally burnt their nachos. Restrictive covenants, notice to leave the office, so many problems. So you've invested 4 years of your life, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Make sure you have a dental-focused attorney review your contract. If you would like to get connected with one, we're glad to connect you with a dental-focused attorney, one that I use myself as my podcast partner, YourDentalLawyer.com, Rob Montgomery. Dentist attorneys are a little bit like dentists, where they always can't work in every state. So if they don't work in that state, they could refer you to somebody that does. So as we wrap up here and share with you how not to burn your nachos when finding a job in dentistry, it's important you start early, be prepared, be aware, protect yourself. If we can help you in any way, just reach out to us at dentalnachos.com, email jobconnect@dentalnachos.com, and if you'd like to see all of our open positions, just text JOB, J-O-B, to 215-543-6454.